Am I? Can you hear me?
I can, yeah. I was like, oh man, I use my laptop and now I can't hear anything. I'm like, what? I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't.
How are you doing tonight, Christopher?
I'm doing very well. Surviving the weather, that's for sure. How are you?
Surviving the weather.
I have power. I'm grateful for that,
Yeah, us too. I mean, the power went out down in my section for a little bit, but we realized that we just had to like hit the breaker and it got fixed. So, hey, Lee.
Is it still snowing down where you are?
Yes.
Is it really? It kind of calmed down, I think. Obviously you can't see it out that window, but it has definitely calmed down a little bit. The winds are picking up still, but I don't think it's really coming down like it was.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll see how tomorrow looks. It's pretty crazy earlier with the winds. So,
Yeah, right. I
yeah,
saw Providence got 36 inches. That's crazy.
that is nuts.
Yeah.
Oh,
My heart goes out to Providence.
definitely. I know a few people out in that area that have been snowed in, as well as in a few other close by areas. So,
Yes.
yeah. So tonight we have Morgan. Help me say her last name correctly.
Caldwell.
Caldwell. Um, she is a very dear friend of ours, and she is a medium, and we're very excited to have her join us tonight. Let's go ahead and bring her on up.
Bring her on up.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Hey,
Hi, how are you?
Good, thanks. How are you guys?
doing pretty good.
Good. Thank you so much for being willing to join our show for the evening.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm a little nervous, like I told you guys, but I appreciate being asked.
It's
Deep
totally
calming
good.
breaths. You're going to be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just conversation with friends. That's all.
Yeah, true.
Mhm. So, can you tell us about how your mediumship unfolded for you? Like, where did it start for you?
Hmm.
The youngest memory I have, I was maybe 4 years old riding a tricycle in my yard. And there was this little spirit child that would always ride. I had a rusty little tricycle, but they had a bright red tricycle. And hey, one. And they would ride right next to me, but I
Mhm.
always knew that nobody else could see them.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
But then also a few years later, my grandfather passed, and I knew he passed because he came to visit me when I was sleeping, and he
Wow.
said goodbye to me. And I got woken up the next morning, and I was told that he'd passed the night before.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay. Wow.
That's pretty impactful.
I'm sorry.
That's pretty impactful. Like, I mean, that's
Yeah, I just remember I was confused. I'm like, what are you talking about? Because he said goodbye to me last night, but he seemed fine because he passed
oh,
from
I see.
Alzheimer's. So
Mhm.
obviously, when he
Uh,
came to see me, he was in a state from when I was younger and he was healthier. Um,
sure. Yeah.
but no, it was definitely confusing.
Yeah. Did you
And
find that like oh sorry.
no, go ahead, Chris.
Did you find that like when you saw the child on the tricycle, like were you able to communicate with them or you just saw them and felt them?
I just saw them and felt them, and we
Hmm.
would just play with each other. We didn't talk. Honestly,
Hmm.
I didn't know if it was a boy or a girl just because they had like short golden ringlets. Honestly, they look like the pictures of baby Jesus, like the paintings that you see. That's basically what they looked like. I'm not saying that's who it was. I'm just saying
Sure.
similar hair color and
Okay.
hairstyle. Um, but no, we didn't talk or anything. We just played.
That's kind of cool though. I mean, just having that connection without the verbiage is neat, just being having that fun connection, just knowing they were there
Yeah.
and being with them. That's just cool.
Yeah, and actually the first reading I ever had done when I was 16, and I was technically like old enough to go somewhere. They
Hmm.
actually came through and they were like, "No, you used to play with somebody in your yard." So that was like the actual confirmation I needed. They were like, "No, they remember it, and
Oh,
they
That's
wow.
they
cool.
know that you remember them and they appreciate it."
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, what took you from mediumship into the paranormal world? I know they interconnect, but everybody has a different experience.
Um, I think it's because I've known I was a medium for so long, but I kind of hid it from most people because a lot of the time, well, I mean, it's more acceptable now. But I'm sure when you guys were younger, if you tried to mention it, people would be like, "Yeah, no, you're full of crap," or "You're crazy." You get hit
Mhm.
with just a lot of things. A lot of people don't believe you, and part of that made me kind of hide my gifts for quite a while. But I still loved everything paranormal, so just going to paracons or looking into investigations helped me still be in that world a bit without having to show exactly why I wanted to be in the world, if that
Yep.
makes sense.
That totally makes sense. I kind of did a similar thing when I was first coming into all this. Like I mean, and honestly too, like people still talk shit. So like, don't feel
Yeah.
bad. That unfortunately, there's always going to be ignorant people out there, but we all know what we're getting is validating and helping people. So fuck them, as
Yeah.
far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned, right?
Very true.
But like I said, I mean, I get not or being apprehensive, especially at like conventions or things like that, or just around others in the field. Like it's nerve wracking. It's scary,
It is. Yeah.
But I'm glad you came out of the proverbial mediumship closet, which is cool.
Thank you. Me too. Hey, Nate. Yeah, no, oddly enough, I went there trying to kind of blend in with the crowd,
Mm-hmm.
but every paracon I go to, I typically end up, when I meet people at their tables, a lot of them I end up giving readings to,
Nice.
which is not like the point that I went there for, but it just happens. And when it happens, you guys both know it's supposed to happen.
Right.
Right.
You're there for a reason. So,
Right. Divine timing. You can't mess with it.
Yep.
For sure. What's up,
hey,
Jeremy?
Jeremy.
So, as a medium, what are some of the most interesting locations that you feel that you have personally been to, and what were some of those experiences you had?
So believe it or not, I've actually not investigated much. I would say the first one, and it was, oh geez, I don't know, like 15 years ago, was the Lizzie Borden House.
Oh wow.
And
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
the people that I went with weren't into investigating whatsoever.
Oh really?
So they went to bed, and I was that one person up with a bunch of strangers because we didn't have the whole house, we just had our room. And I was up until 2, 3 a.m. investigating with people, but I was getting things I didn't know. And we'd walk around the house. And like the first thing I got when I walked into Lizzie Borden House, but I was still a little shy about my abilities, was I got the name Harry.
Hmm.
And when you go up to the attic, there's a picture of a man and his name's on it. And it's Harry. But like the children, I didn't know the history because I don't like knowing the history when I go in. So for me,
Totally.
I think the coolest things are when people give me confirmation.
Yeah.
But no, just I would say that was one of my coolest ones. Nothing too exciting happened except there was a lot of activity with the Ouija board, and I'm not the best with those. I don't typically get activity with them,
Mhm.
but it was going crazy getting correct information. But I'd say the craziest investigation that we did was, well, I don't know how much I can talk about it because Nate hasn't released it yet, but we were at the Satanic Temple. And we were in one room, we were walking around and it was like, we need to go in this room because we're going to catch something. And the only equipment I have is a Freddy Krueger thing and a cat ball. So I don't know what the equipment's called. Nate, you can say it in the comments, but he put something up there and it was doing its thing. And then I don't know, Nate, you're in here. Can I say, or try to explain what we got? Sorry.
No, you're good. I totally understand that.
I actually was at the Satanic Temple myself, and we had quite the experience at the last paranormal conference when we went in. So I'm curious to know which room you had that experience in.
It was the room with the thrones upstairs, but I don't see him commenting. So,
Mm-hmm.
but no, it was pretty interesting. So we got on camera some pretty interesting stuff. You could see movement when nobody's in the room. I'm not gonna.
Motion sensor box. Okay, there we go.
Okay. Well, Nate. I don't know if I can exactly describe the video, but I also took a photo in the mirror that was there. Haley, and people were trying to recreate it at the end of the night. Okay, I can try to explain it. So we were in the hall, the whatever device he said it was going off. So he started recording. And the walls up there, they're like a gold foil. There was nothing in the room. There was no movement from the vents to make the curtains move. You see a shadow on the foil getting closer to the device as if it's trying to test how close it can get to it without actually setting it off. And you see, it looks like it's shaped like a person. You just see it moving on the gold foil. And we went back in the room afterwards. There was nothing that would have caused that. We were moving in the hallway to make sure it wasn't our reflection. But also in the same room, I took a selfie of myself in the mirror, which I very much believe is a portal, and that's where things are coming in and out.
Sure.
And I forget what it's called, but I allowed spirit to come close enough to me. I forget the exact term, where I forget what it's called, but where they could like change my face, transmutation.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
half of my face, like my eyes completely different. Half of me doesn't look like me.
Oh
And
shit.
Gwen and everybody else tried recreating it. They're like, how did you do it? I was like, no, I just took a picture. I knew they were I allowed them to come close. I knew I was gonna get it. I took one and it showed up.
That's far out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then I guess Pennhurst would be another one. I went with my friend Christina, and a few of her friends. Yeah, no, the picture is crazy. I think I posted it. I just didn't like say what it was. It was just in a big drop of Salem pictures. But at Pennhurst, there's another one with a photo. Um, a guy, Tim, that was with the group with us, he said, no, somebody was going to grab you before. And Stephanie, who works at the Shanley, Stephanie Smith, she was there too. And I showed her the picture. She was like, no, a man wanted to choke you. And you see the picture, I'm with the Halloween props, and I've had teachers look at it. I've had students going for photography look at it, completely dissect this picture. Nobody can understand the pixelation because it doesn't make sense. You
No
can
shit.
see it looks like an arm reaching out against me, completely over me. And it's the weirdest pixelation. It's the shape of an arm. And there's other pixelations around it where if you zoom in you can see faces, which yes could be pareidolia, so I'm not necessarily saying that, but it's just people have looked into the original image and there's no rhyme or reason behind it.
That's nuts.
Wow.
I've been to Pennhurst and that place is next level.
It is. Yeah.
It's freaky. Like I was walking around the halls by myself and I'm like, what am I doing right now? Like, I heard people running at, like, that was the only time I ever actually heard somebody running at me
Yeah.
in a spiritual way. And I'm just like, I got to be like buddy system from now on. Like, this is too much,
See, I'm that stupid kind of white person that I just frolic off on my own and I'm fine.
I end up doing it too. Like I oftentimes I'll try to just get a feel for the place. And I'll wander
Yeah.
off. I'll walk the halls and like, I don't know, the spookier the better, which is weird because like, let me ask you this. I know you said you haven't been on many investigations, but have you ever been to like a hospital or anything like that? And if so, have you ever gone to the morgue? Or do you think you would? No pun intended on the name, but
Yeah. I would go. I've just not been to one.
yeah, neither have I. Well, it's like bucket list for me. I kind of like, I feel drawn to doing that for some reason. Like it just seems like there'd be so much energy there.
I want to investigate a funeral home. I
Oh, yeah?
know
Yeah.
I know the Satanic Temple technically was, but we weren't allowed in the basement. And I
Uh,
didn't know it was before we went, and I kept telling Nate, I'm like, I want to get in that basement. And then when we got there, they're like, well, it used to be a funeral home. I was like, well, that's why I want to go in the basement.
right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think a lot of what they use for that area has to do with like some of their ceremonies and things that they do, and that's why they don't allow people as much down into the basement area.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I can definitely, like, my experience there was similar. Like, it's a pretty active place.
Yeah, it is. Because we missed out on what was going downstairs, but I know you guys were getting stuff because we could hear you upstairs, but we were distracted by that room. So,
Yeah. I haven't been to Pennhurst yet. Actually, I'm pretty new to the East Coast. I've only been out here for about 2 years. So I'm just starting to discover paranormal locations out here. I'm used to locations on the other side of the country. So I'm really excited to experience some of the new ones out here, new to me.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um, what are some of the challenging things that you find as a medium when it comes to going into, I guess I could say, challenging things you find as a medium going into different locations?
Um, I'm not sure. I just kind of go in.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I guess honestly, one of the challenging things, which isn't necessarily based on any location, is not knowing anything beforehand. Like
Mhm.
I don't want to know anything.
Mhm.
Um, but I guess that's also a challenging thing too, because you need to make sure you have somebody who can confirm everything that you're getting.
Right.
Um, but I guess the only other challenging thing would be maybe if sometimes there are spirits who sometimes they don't like women, just like there's spirits who
Mhm.
sometimes don't like men.
Right.
I guess more the ones like that, but also like the physical trauma because I feel it. Like with the temple too. The second we got into the parking lot, I said to Nate, I was like, I need to take Excedrin. My head is killing me. And I said to him before then too, I was like, there's been a little girl with me all day and it doesn't make sense in this location. I don't understand it.
Hmm.
But then they told us that there was a little girl whose sister harmed her, and the sister that was hurt was like basically locked away. And so at the end of the night, I was like, I need to ask, it's head trauma, isn't it? And she goes, yeah, no, she was pushed down the stairs. But I was dealing with that headache the entire night
Mhm.
until I got to leave. So I guess that's probably the most challenging aspect of it.
Do you find that like that like clairsentient feeling part is a big part of how you do kind of pick up on spirit, whether it's reading for somebody or whether it's picking up on paranormal stuff?
Um,
Or like what
you
other
know,
clairs do you use, or you know what I mean? Like,
so every once in a while I'll get taste and smell. Those are like the
yep,
ones I get the least.
yep,
But honestly, what I get is it's more pictures and movies and things I see in my mind, but a lot of the
yeah.
things I get are pop culture references.
Oh, no
And then
kidding.
I get it overlaid with what I'm actually seeing, and I need to figure out exactly what it makes sense. But a lot of the times I get the pop culture references because the way I'm trying to describe it, the information I'm getting, because it's all bits and pieces. I'm not sure how you get it, but mine's it's all chopped together. Um, so a lot of the times I get the pop culture references in order to help me better describe what I'm trying to do. Like Nate and I, we practice, and he doesn't say a word. He's like, okay, go. And I will just start from there.
That's
And I
cool.
was like, okay, it's weird. And I described outfits. I was like, but it feels like a ship. And I was like, but there's a monkey. Why is there a monkey on this ship? And he was like, there's no monkey on the ship. And I was like, okay. I was like, I don't know, but I just keep seeing the Pirates of the Caribbean, the Black Pearl. It's their ship, and it's unsinkable. And I guess it was the USS Constitution. That ship is completely designed based on it. And I kept seeing the little monkey from that movie, but I Googled it after that ship, after when they used it for like people to like have like dinners or something on. They
Yeah.
had a pet monkey, just like that
Ah,
monkey named Rosie.
no
Oh,
shit. That's
Yeah.
cool.
wow. That's cool.
So I would say that's what I get the most. Sometimes I hear things, a lot of it's just, I don't know, I just feel like I get drawn to places
Mhm.
and there happens to be activity. I don't know why. I don't try to question it. I just walk there and typically activity happens.
So, like, as far as the references go, like you said, you get like pop culture references. Would it be like, let's say you're doing a reading for somebody and a gentleman comes through, and all of a sudden you're seeing that scene from Ghostbusters where he's like, he's looking at me, Ray, and then you
Yeah.
say that, and like it ends up being that their loved one's name is Ray. You know, is that how it works for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes, but like I said, sometimes it's literally just to describe things, or it could be the
Mhm.
most obscure thing and they're like, "Oh, well, that was their favorite movie."
Sure.
There's no
Yep.
rhyme or reason. Sometimes it's even just a song and it might just be like the lyric of the song that I'm
Yeah.
saying that makes
Yep.
sense to them.
Yep. It's funny. I mean, that thing happened to me just the other day. I was doing a reading and I was like, this guy's bringing up Frank Sinatra. Or I think it was like the song Blue Moon
Mhm.
by Frank Sinatra. And I was like, why? He keeps bringing up Blue Moon. And she was like, well, when I look up at the moon, I think of him and his name is Frank. And I'm like, well, Jesus Christ. So,
Perfect reference for
That
them to
makes
show you
sense.
right.
that.
And I was like, oh, well, that's super fucking cool. So, like, yeah, I get that. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, some of the images that can come through are really interesting. And then they make sense to the person. It's like, okay, that's awesome.
Right.
Yeah. And I know I'm the guest here, but can I pick your guys' brain? Because that's what I do. I'm sure you guys have noticed that when I'm there, I just ask questions.
Of
Yeah,
Hey,
course.
absolutely.
Christy. Um, so how do you guys get it? Because like sometimes it will literally be like I'm walking in the house. I can describe down to the carpet on their floor and what's on the
Mhm.
walls. But sometimes it's just snippets like I think the show is Wonder Years, like the old time movies. I see that sometimes. Sometimes
Mhm.
there's a literal photograph. Sometimes it's just a person and there's like nothing around them. How do you guys
Mhm.
see things?
I'll let you tackle that one, Raven, first.
So it's interesting because there are a couple things that come up for me. Sometimes I'll see snippets like the movies,
Hey, Bailey.
little movies in replay. Other times I'll have a spirit come up to me and they'll be explaining things at a rapid pace. Other times it's music. Other times it's smells or it's feelings that come up that I recognize, okay, this is not an emotion that is my own and I'm picking this up over here, and then it opens up a doorway to show me different images within that placement of that location or place that I'm
Mhm.
at.
Interesting.
And for me, honestly, it kind of varies. Like if I'm going into I'm sorry, just reading that comment there. Frank Sinatra isn't a well-liked human in Australia. Well, good thing I'm not in Australia, I guess. I mean, but like it depends. Like if I'm going into a haunted location or something like that, where I'm not doing like a direct reading for somebody who is still here, and I'm
Mhm.
just reading the location, it's a very different monster. You know, it's like it's a lot of feeling. Sometimes it's a lot of like hearing, clairaudience, and clairvoyance too. Like they might show me that they, you know, had like, you know, chipped fingernails because they worked with their hands a lot, or they might like, you know, literally tell me like I fell down the stairs or something like that. I might hear that, you know, or I might be like, you know, like my elbow really hurts. And they'll be like, oh yeah, well the caretaker had tennis elbow or something. You know what I mean? Like, but when I'm doing readings for people, like that's a whole nother monster. Like it's a whole nother thing for me, honestly. Like it's, and like I said, the blue moon, Frank Sinatra reference will come through. Sometimes it'll be, I mean, I had one time where this little frail old lady came through and I felt like her petiteness, but I couldn't quite see it. I just kind of felt it. And then she goes, my name is such and that's my daughter. And you tell her that I'm grateful that she was next to me when I took my final breath. So I said that and she verified it. And it was a great reading. So it's kind of like, it's weird. And I sometimes will say too, like, it depends on the person in spirit, how they want to come through.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. So like, if they were very visual, they're going to show me things in my clairvoyance. If they were a talker, they're going to talk. You know, if they were more like quiet, but they felt things and more empathic, they might impress feelings and things like that. So it really depends. And sometimes they blend together, which is fucked up, you know?
Yeah, that's never fun. But also, you describe how I do things better than I do too, because I didn't even think about like actually feeling everything. Oh yeah, I can't wait either, Bill. I'm so excited for June. But no, yeah, it's like everything all at once. It's just my pop culture thing. I've just noticed for some reason that's just how I've always gotten references. It's probably because I'm always just a nerd. I mean, look at my wall behind me. Clearly,
Well, and that's it. I mean, like they use what's in our brain to kind of get the message across. Like if we'd never been to, like if you've never been to Russia and you didn't know maybe like somebody's signature dish that they made in Russia all the time, they might give you the ingredients and say, hey, this is a dish with eggs and peppers and onions, but you might not know the actual word. So they'll say eggs and peppers and onions.
yeah.
But you're not going to know, like, I'm not even going to try to butcher any sort of Russian or German words, but you know what I'm saying? Like you get the point. So with your pop culture references, they know that's in your head and they know that's how they're going to be able to get their word across. So that's what they use for you and it works. So
Yeah.
We have a question. Why do doctors class clairaudience as audio hallucinations? I am not a doctor, so I am not going to try and answer that question.
I could take a guess, but you go for it, Morgan. What do you think?
Oh, it's your show. I don't want to
You're
take
the
that away
guest.
from
I'd
you.
love to
Go
hear.
ahead.
I mean, I'd love to hear your opinion.
I would say because up until recently, they haven't really tried to classify anybody's abilities as actual things. They just try to
Bingo.
always say basically, nope, there's something wrong with you. It's not what you think it is.
Right.
That's true.
I mean, literally took the words right out of my mouth. I think it's like metaphysics is seen as a pseudoscience. It's not taken seriously, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And especially with mediumship, they don't know how or why it works. And there's no like proof. I'm like, give me a fucking break. There's proof everywhere. There's people getting readings all the time with validation coming through. Like, can't that be proof? Like, but then again, science needs substantial evidence and all this other garbage. So,
Which makes no sense because, sorry, I'm going to go on a little tangent. My favorite episode of Ghost Hunters was when he was being read by a medium and they had a thermal camera and you could see when he was physically blocking. I'm drawing a blank on his name. I've met him. He's a nice guy. Jason Haas.
Oh, yeah.
He was completely trying to block the man. And you could see from the thermal camera, there was like a wall. And the guy's like, you're not letting me in. Oh, yeah.
That's fair too.
I love you, Nate, but
Yeah.
you weren't asking for your nerd stuff. I love you.
He's right though. I mean, it could very
He
well
is.
be. They don't.
No, he's often right. But
yeah.
I liked our reason to it. But you could
Yeah.
see the wall that Jason had up and the medium trying to get in. He's like, no, you're blocking me. You're not going to let me read you. And he was like, okay, I'll let you. You see the wall drop and you see the thermal camera, the images, the colors going towards him because he's allowing the energy. I mean, there's ways to capture it. It's just people won't take what they can get and go from there.
Well, I think even if they do capture it, they still second guess it for whatever reason because it goes against what they've believed in for so long. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but have you ever been around or been in a situation where maybe you've done a reading for a person and it just shatters their whole concept of what they truly believe? And they're just like, they're left like being like, I don't even know how to process this. Like, what the fuck just happened? And then they do it. Yeah. They have to process it for a while. I think it's kind of the same lines. People just don't want to have what they believed in for decades sometimes be questioned.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think a belief is one thing, knowing is a whole nother. If you know something, it can't be changed. If you believe in something, it can be altered,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was curious. Do either of you have moments where sometimes when there is a spirit that's on the other side, they're not really in a place where they can communicate, but their guides, their ancestors, their healers that are working with them will specifically communicate to you to help maybe somebody that's on this side with a process of healing, even though perhaps the spirit that's crossed over may not be fully ready for it? Because I've experienced that, and I was just wondering about you both as well in that regard.
Um, I'm not sure I've experienced that. I would say the only thing that would be close was just for myself, and it was my grandmother, and she let my grandfather talk for her, but that's just how they were in life. So it wasn't necessarily that instance. But I don't think I've come across one where the spirit isn't able to say things. I've come across spirits who they were people of little words when they were alive, so they're not
hmm
going to give me much on the other side because they're the same person. They're just in
hmm
spirit form.
which can be so frustrating.
It is. It is.
Very.
Sometimes you're like, then why did you even come here? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. You had nothing to say, then why are you even here? Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm finding that with some of the more difficult passings that I've dealt with, I've had, that's where I see that experience coming up.
hmm
Just because sometimes family members or people will come like within 24 hours, and that's not enough time.
Which is interesting because I've had spirits come in that amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
And the only one that so I had a brother who we never met in life, but he came to me. I didn't even realize he'd passed, and I was just in this horrible funk, and it happened the day that he died, but it took a week to be found. So once the realization hit, and this was when I was kind of blocking my gifts, but once the realization hit, that man's spirit was with me from the get-go. But literally the day that the coroner was able to figure out he passed, he was with me.
hmm
But I've had, I don't know. I know people say that they need time. I think it's more whatever the spirit feels comfortable with, because I've literally done a reading, and I don't typically remember my readings, but this one was just a wild one to me because it was for a family member whose husband's ex-wife, the day after she passed,
Hmm.
popped in when I was at my relative's house and decided to give messages to her, and they did not have any good terms when she was alive.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Lee. And that makes sense because I've had a very dear friend that passed away very unexpectedly, and we started seeing him immediately, like within 24 hours, I think. It's just interesting how different spirits will pop up at different times, and I guess it's just based on when they're ready and not.
It's
Right.
funny too. Like I've had experiences where people will come through, and then it's like say that they you have somebody who's been in spirit for 20 years, let's say, right? They'll come through first, and then it almost like gives the person who's been in spirit for less amount of time, let me say 24 hours or less or more, in and around that time, it almost gives them the courage to be like, oh, okay, like that's how you do it. All right, now that I know the process, I can do it myself. Because personally too, I've had people come through in about a 24-hour period, and be very talkative, but I've also had people come through first ahead of them, and it's almost like they're like, hey, come over here, like we're gonna do
Showing
something
them the
cool.
ropes. Yeah.
Yeah, showing them the ropes. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, we're gonna do something cool. Let's get this going here. Like, this is how you do it. Let me introduce you to so and so, or let me do the spiritual liaison, so to speak, and kind of helps them through. And that's just my opinion, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
One way that I've noticed hesitation too, though, sometimes is how they passed, if it was unexpected, but also if there's guilt.
hmm,
Um, because I know the one that was a little hesitant, more so because I was blocking things. There was guilt, and he tried to come through as if it was caused by himself, but it wasn't. It was a heart issue. It's just he didn't take care of himself properly.
that
So
yeah,
Mhm.
he was taking it more so, nope, I did this myself completely. And he took a little bit to actually use his words rather than just be there.
that's totally a thing too. It's like they tell you that it was their responsibility, and then we interpret it as they may have committed suicide or something.
Right.
It's like, no, this was my fault. This is my fault. And like, that's what I tell people in readings all the time. Like, we as mediums lack context I have no idea what they are talking about necessarily, but it means something to you. That's what's most important, right? Like, I don't know
Yep.
about the lake house that you guys had beers at. They're just telling me about a lake house with beers.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know that he didn't actually commit suicide, but he is telling me that he's taking responsibility for how he went. So I think you're spot on with that.
Yeah.
We just give what we receive. So,
The
yeah.
little pieces we have to figure out how they go together. Yep.
Right. Did you find that that when you first started, like when you were younger, that it was really convoluted and confusing? And then as you kind of more opened up to it, that things got a little bit clearer for you as far as like being able to use the references and making more sense of it to you and how you work with it?
It was always confusing up until the past couple years because I never had a support system.
Okay. Yeah.
And if I did, it was only here and there, and it was more for like party tricks, like, hey, did you know Morgan can do this? Even though Morgan was not telling people she could do this. Um,
No
but
pressure.
no, yeah. Um, but no, once I've actually like found a support system, and I mean, I had a couple support systems that were there for a season, and I guess slightly a reason. They're no longer people I technically talk to, for similar reasons. But no, the confidence and getting more comfortable with it definitely helps if you have people that you can talk to, like-minded people, people who support you,
Mhm.
and with the confidence, it definitely helped with the messages flow better.
Yeah. You know, someone once said to me, people are with us for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. It all
Yep.
depends on what we need them for.
Yep.
It's all part of the growing experience.
Yep.
Sometimes them growing pains hurt.
Very true.
They can. Yeah.
Do you have a question, Raven? I don't want to.
Go ahead.
Are you sure?
I'm thinking about another
All
one.
right. Well, I got one for you, Morgan. You also do cards, right? You also read cards?
Um, I do the oracle cards. I don't.
Oracle cards. Okay.
Tarot's too set in stone for me. I can't quite get it.
So that leads me to my question. Like, because you got some oracle cards that literally have a phrase underneath them, and some of them are just an image, right?
Mhm.
One, what do you prefer? And two, if there is a phrase, do you reword it for your own, in your own words, or do you kind of go based on that and then run with what it says? You know what I'm saying? Like, how does that work for you?
So my deck collection's really embarrassing because I'm one that I like the artwork, or there's certain themes like, oh, there's musicians and different ones. But my main deck, honestly, it's an oracle deck, but I read it for almost 20 years, and then I finally looked at it. It's technically a tarot deck,
Oh shit!
but it
Okay.
has chakras
Oh.
thrown in, and I don't know the chakras, so I don't use those because I'm not a Reiki expert. But the way I read cards is so unconventional. Hey, Jeremy. Um, I have people shuffle the cards, and then they completely just spread them out however they want on the table. I half the time don't look at the cards unless it's somebody who wants a reading, but they don't necessarily want a reading. You know what I mean? They want
Mm-hmm.
information, but they're either going to try to test you or they're just
Oh
going
yeah.
to stay kind of closed up. So I'll be looking at them and I'm just pulling cards, and it's more of an energy movement for me. So I'll just be like this, putting them down at the table. And sometimes I'll look down, but as I say a certain phrase, it may be on that card.
Okay.
So I prefer the ones, I guess, with a phrase or a word on it, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't necessarily read based on that unless it's one of those difficult readings where people are like, oh, I'm going to prove that they're not real, or you're not giving them exactly the message that they want, so they're going to make it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
But no, my method is so weird. I've read Gwen's cards and I was like, this is going to be the weirdest thing. I have a certain nickname for it. I'll tell you afterwards. I'm not going to say it on here.
Fair enough.
But yeah, no, I like the pretty pictures. But actually, one of my favorites, I haven't used it too much, is a horror one that my daughter got me.
Cool.
But the other one is, yeah, it's technically a tarot deck, but I don't read it like tarot because I don't know tarot.
Yeah. I'm
But
not really the greatest with tarot either, honestly.
yeah,
Well, tarot can be a little bit
Thanks, Gwen.
restrictive at times when it comes to like, they're kind of rigid on how placements should be, but I find that that doesn't matter when it comes to like translation, because what's going to come out is going to come out anyway.
yeah.
That's true too. Yeah.
Yeah. So you also believe in fairies, correct?
I do, yes.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about some of your experiences with fae?
So it's another thing, same backyard. I have memories of seeing them when I was little. But also, you may think I'm a little crazy. I've had many
Doubtful.
people, huh?
Doubtful.
Well, I've had many people actually approach me and be like, no, you remind me of a fairy. You have fairy energy. Um, but the weirdest thing about that is I can't, like, certain things make my skin boil, and they're things that technically fairies are not supposed to use. Hematite, if I wear a ring, my skin is completely boiled to the shape of whatever the shape was. Cast
Really?
iron, I can't touch. Yep. Metals, I can't even touch them. They just like skeeve me out, and I'm like, nope, can't do that.
No shit.
Um, yeah, it's weird. I can't find an explanation to it, but yeah, no, because I had a hematite ring. I wore it for not even a day, and my entire ring finger, like where the ring was completely red and bubbled up.
Interesting. I'd never
Yeah,
heard of that before. I never heard that was a thing.
I hadn't either. But no, many people like in the metaphysical type community, the witchy community, they're the ones who are just flat out like, yeah, no, you've definitely had one. You're definitely part of one in some way because there's something about you. But even people who like the history of fairies, I've questioned, and they're like, yeah, but do you think they're real? Because I'm so convinced that they're real. And they're like, well, I'm a historian. I look into the history of things. But then at the end of the conversation, they're giggling. You're like, you really do have a fairy personality. You're quite bubbly. And even your name is like a fairy name. I, I don't have too many like experiences that I can remember, but also when you're a kid, you're being told like, well, fairies aren't real, but I have the memories. And I think Raven, you said you had memories as well, right?
I do have memories of interacting with the fairies as well as in adulthood. 3 years ago, I was swimming in a swimming pool by myself. And all of a sudden, I saw this light flicker really fast over to the gazebo. And it was a fairy that had sat down, and I had looked up at it, and I was like, am I actually seeing this? And then there was some communication going on, and the fairy allowed me to take a photo. I asked, and
Hmm.
that's something that I've learned is to ask. And I actually have a really vivid photo that a lot of people have not been able to explain of a fairy.
Hmm.
And I was sitting in the swimming pool taking the camera and taking the picture, but the fairy had actually come to bring a specific message for something that was coming my way. And I do believe I'm starting to find that. So it's kind of neat how in childhood, like they can interact with us. Um, and there are so many different kinds of stories about the Fae. My experience with them and seeing them and interacting with them was pretty positive, actually.
Yeah, mine as well.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
never experienced it myself, but I saw that picture that you were talking about, and I don't know what the fuck to make of it.
You'll
Like
have to send it to me. I haven't seen it.
it's
I'll
wild.
definitely send it.
Like I mean, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'm a open-minded skeptic when it comes to things like that. And I saw this photo, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I can't debunk this. I can't. I tried. It's weird.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'll have to check it out, Jeremy.
I have had some people say they believe I'm connected to the Fae. I don't know about that. I know I've had experiences with them since childhood, but and I don't have allergies to like reactions to metals and things like you do, but I definitely still have a very I'm always watching for them
Yeah,
in different areas and waiting because I feel like they've been with me throughout my entire life.
yeah.
So, yeah.
So I got a question for you. This is unrelated to mediumship, but what's your favorite horror movie and why?
That would be Nightmare on Elm Street
Oh fuck yeah.
because you gotta love Freddy's one-liners.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's been my favorite forever. I know it's cheesy, but I love it.
No. All those old the classics are great. I love them.
But also,
I
unpopular opinion, I love Freddy versus Jason. I know so many
oh
people
yeah.
hate it. I love how campy it is.
Yeah. I mean, what do you make of the Terrifier movies? Do you like those? Do you think it's cool that there's a new player on the scene, or like, what's your? How do you feel about that?
They're okay. I watched them. They're just not my favorite. I haven't seen the most recent one, the third one.
Oh shit! Yeah, buckle up.
Oh, really?
Oh, dude, yeah. It starts off and you're like, wow, really? Wow.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I've been wanting to watch it. It's just, I like art. He's just not my favorite. That's all.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I was
Yeah.
just
I've,
curious because, I mean, as a horror lover, you know, I'm always curious what people's take on the newer horror stuff is, and I think that Art the Clown has solidified himself as a mainstay bad guy.
Oh, most definitely.
Like
Yeah.
he's right up there with Jason. He's right up there with Freddy. He's right up there with Mike Myers. Like he's the next dude, and I just didn't think we'd see that in our lifetime. So I mean, Pinhead. I mean, all those guys.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. So I was just curious what you thought about all that.
Yeah, no, I like him.
I've
Cool.
seen the first one. I was debating on whether I saw the second one yet, but I don't think so. But Matthew has been showing me all these different kinds of movies and things. And the first one, I was just like, I just saw that. Okay.
yeah, pretty much. Like that just happened. Wow, that's an hour and a half I won't get back.
Yeah.
Right. So another non-paranormal question. What is your favorite snack?
My favorite snack?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Honestly, it might be seaweed. I'm so weird.
That's good though.
Oh, shit.
Like it
Yeah.
tastes good. Mhm.
It does.
Yeah.
I'm a weirdo.
Do they have them in like chip bags? Like, I mean,
No, I hate how expensive they can be. It's literally just like a small container, and you get maybe like 9 little slices of seaweed.
no shit.
Yeah, I guess I kind of considered those to be like chips in it themselves because of the fact that they're like little square sheets, but
Yeah.
they're not really chips. So
Now, I actually do have a mediumship question for you, and I'm always curious about this. I've asked Raven this question. I've asked a lot of other mediums that have been on the show. When you like, I mean, there's got to have been times where you've been doing readings like all day, right?
Mhm.
At the end of the day, do you find that your energy is up and you're peppy, or do you find that you're just bleh, like it is just you are tired and drained? Like, and if so, how do you combat that? You know what I mean?
Honestly, it is kind of like a high. But also I have to drink water constantly the entire time. I
Yep.
have troubles drinking enough water as is. It's probably because I'll just be talking half the time and spirit does slip in. So I'm sure that's part of the reason that I am constantly dehydrated, but I need to drink. I drink like 3 times as many waters when I'm reading because I don't know what it is. Hey, I don't know what it is, but I have to constantly drink water. Is that the same for you guys, that you have to constantly hydrate if you're doing readings?
Mm-hmm.
it used to be that way for me. Now, because I have certain water limitations as to how much I intake per day, I have to be a lot more cautious about it, but I am thirsty constantly during it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I find water definitely plays a part, not only if I'm drinking it or sips between readings or whatever, but after each one, like if I have like 5 back to back to back to back to back, I will, in between each one, when I'm done with the reading, I will rinse my face with water like 3 times, kind of ritualistically, just to kind of cleanse the energy and just kind of get me back into a freshness almost. So water definitely plays a part in keeping me going, whether I'm drinking it or whether I'm splashing water on my face to kind of clear that energy off. But yeah, for sure.
I can't do that because I tend to wear makeup.
Ah.
But I do have a spritz thing of moon water. That would probably work because that wouldn't. I'm a weird. So I use moon water all the time, constantly, like on my face and my hair and everything. So I could probably do that. That would
That's
actually
not
might
weird at
help.
all.
I have like sometimes I'll use it depending on whether they're coming to my location or where I'm going to theirs. Sometimes I'll use like a water bowl in between if I need to, just to kind of like recenter and like transmute energy a little bit. Otherwise, I have crystals that I use to kind of like help with like clearing that stuff out pretty quick.
Yeah. I have a couple that I keep with me too.
Nice.
Yeah.
I got a real loaded question for you, Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe in God? And if so, how does that look for you? And it doesn't have to be the traditional, you know what I mean? Like whatever that manifests for you. Like I'm curious.
Yeah. See, I'm not sure. I believe in, yes, there's definitely higher powers.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that there are gods per se. There are deities. I don't think any one is higher than the other necessarily.
Yeah.
But I'm also one of those very much that if someone approaches me, I will assess it and then maybe work with certain people, but I don't necessarily devote myself to any specific thing.
Okay. So you don't have like a certain like spiritual practice or belief system that you said is your thing.
Nope. I just kind of go with
That's cool.
what feels right.
That's awesome. I think that's a good way to do it, honestly.
Yeah.
Be open-minded about it all and just kind of incorporate everything because, why not, right?
Well, that, and if you look at religions, they all kind of borrow ideas from everybody else and basically steal different ideas from each other and just relabel them.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
There's a
Yeah,
lot
for
of
sure.
that for sure.
There is a lot of overlap. That's for sure.
Yep.
Do you think that music is a form of magic?
Oh shit.
It most definitely can be. But also maybe not necessarily the actual lyrics or the melody, but also the intention when the song was written. There's so many
Hmm.
different aspects of it that play
Mhm.
into what the music does, how it makes people feel. So I'd say, yeah, it's definitely a form of magic.
That's cool.
I would say so too.
What's your favorite genre of music?
I am a pop punk girl. I still like the emo. I like some rock. I listen to a little bit of everything. There's still some Spice Girls in my rotation. I won't
Oh
lie.
shit. There you
Yep.
go.
But no, it's more like the pop punk and the emo and the rock.
Now, so my version of pop punk might be different, but when you say that, I think like Sum 41, Blink 182. Is that right?
Exactly. Still on heavy rotations.
There you
But
go.
also, I consider them pop punk. They're technically ska. I love Less Than Jake. Always have.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of those
They're
guys.
amazing live. Yep.
That's cool.
But no, I listen to a little bit of everything, but mostly like pop punk and rock and things like that.
That's cool. What are some of the more rock bands you listen to? Like, how heavy does it get for you?
Well, Nate introduces me to different ones, and this is where I'm gonna look like I'm just making things up because I never know names of songs or bands. I just
That's
know
fair enough.
music. I do like Rob Zombie. I do
Oh,
like
hell yeah.
Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I literally go. I just like music. I go to
Yeah.
concerts all the time. I would go to concerts all the time. People would be like, "Oh, we're going to the concert." I wouldn't know the name of the concert. There was one band I saw twice. Still couldn't tell you the name of them. I went to Boston twice to see them. I just know they're brothers that have a band, and their elephant had their CD. I mean, had an elephant face or something on it. So I just call them the Elephant Brother Band. I have no clue what their name is.
Nice.
I just enjoy music, so I listen to
That's
anything.
cool. Hellbilly Deluxe is a great Rob Zombie album if you're looking for one.
Okay. I'll check it
Yeah.
out. I know I have one because I got a signed one when I saw him in concert years ago, but I don't remember which one it is.
I wonder if it's Hellbilly Deluxe, that'd be interesting. But yeah, that's a good one. It's a bit older now, but it's a good
I
record.
went like 10 years ago, I think, so it's been a while.
It might be even older than that. I'm old as fuck, so I don't know.
I am too, so that's fine.
I kind of listen to a little bit of everything, but Christopher is sending me music and indoctrinating me into certain kinds of music so that I, have a little bit more of a rounded music thing. And I keep bugging him for more music quite frequently, so it's kind of
Probably
fun.
some of the stuff's probably a little heavier than you were expecting. I don't know. Did you ever check out the Opeth, that
Yes, I fell
Ghost
in love
Reveries
with the
album?
band. Yeah, I fell in love with the band the minute I heard their sound. So
That's
yeah,
cool. Yeah,
pretty awesome. Uh, A Perfect Circle, you introduced them to me as well,
I did. Yep,
and
those guys are awesome.
there's just like a whole bunch of different ones. So I grew up around rock and roll and that kind of stuff, but more often than not, my family had me involved with like musicals and everything, and it wasn't until I turned 15 or 16 that I really broke out of that music genre and started listening to everything else. So yeah.
There's only one true musical, and that is South Park. Bigger,
Park.
longer, and uncut.
I
That
don't know about
was a
that.
great movie. Yeah, well, in my humble opinion, right? That's
So
funny.
funny.
Oh man. So what do you got coming up, Morgan? Do you have other conventions you're going to be going to soon? Like once probably this weather clears up, I'm sure. But
I should have
are
written the name
investigations coming up?
down. Sorry. We don't have any investigations set yet. I should have written down the things. I know Nate has a convention. I'll be with him in Vermont coming up in New Hampshire, but I'm horrible and I don't have a list. But in June, I will be at I may not be saying the right name, Bearded Brothers Brawl me. I don't, it's at Broadhead Manor.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, Bill. I don't know the name of it, but we'll be there in June. I've never been to Wisconsin, and I'm so excited to meet Bill and check out the place because Nate was there last year, and I was picking up stuff remotely that
Oh,
very much tracked with the history of the place. So that's why we're going there in June.
that's
Oh,
very
that's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah,
That'll be a fun experience for sure.
it will
I've
be.
never
Yeah.
been there, but I've heard really good things.
Yeah, I've visited remotely, like when Nate was there, because he would be in a room and I'd describe the room he was in and things that were going on. Like he had an instance where he saw a shadow, and I'm like, oh yeah, you saw a shadow, right? He didn't say anything, and I described the shadow.
Great brawl. Yeah.
I was kind of close.
Right?
Yeah. um, but no, so I've been there remotely, but even just like being remotely, the energy that comes off of that place is crazy. And especially around the woods, I'm so interested in like the wooded area there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wooded areas are always fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of things out there that I've picked up on. Very much feels like there's watchers out there, other different
Mhm.
things. I just can't wait to go.
Nice.
But no, that's all I have so far. I don't know. I'm just new at getting asked to do things, so I don't have too much on my list yet.
Well, buckle up because it's going to be a bumpy ride for you. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
I think you're
Yeah.
just you're going up, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's a little frightening, but I'm here for it.
It doesn't go away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know
That
because I've
terror
asked
will
you.
always
Yeah.
stay with you. And I think anybody who was like, nah, it's fine, that's not
No,
how it
you
goes.
you and Nate were on a cover
Thank you,
of
Nate.
a magazine recently as well, weren't you?
Yes.
Can you
That's
tell
Um.
cool.
us about it?
Um. Well, yep. So we got approached. Well, Nate got approached and then was asked if he would be okay with me being in the article as well. And I thought it was just going to be a little snippet of how we work together, how he's the skeptic, the scientific, the historian one, and I just go in and do my thing. But it ended up turning into this paranormal couple article, which neither of us were expecting. We were both very grateful for the opportunity. Um, but no, that was kind of like a whirlwind. I don't have too many memories of it. I just remember, answering the questions, not expecting the cover whatsoever, and not expecting the article to be in the center of the magazine. But it all happened, and we're very grateful for it.
That's
That's
cool.
awesome.
So how do you handle being with somebody who is so skeptical and then being so open yourself,
Um, I mean, in the beginning, a lot of arguments.
Yeah, that's fair.
Still sometimes, but it's gotten better. No, because he even sits there and says like he didn't believe in mediums before he met me,
Right.
not whatsoever. But he says he's getting used to it. But I'm not sure how true that is, because we'll be on the phone sometimes and I'll be like, so hey, you knew a person with this name, right? And he just stops for a second. He's like, yeah, why? I'm like, oh well, and they looked like this, and it just pops into his everyday conversation pretty much now. So I think he's used to it. So the arguments are not quite there as much, unless it's like with the monkey. I'm like, I keep seeing a monkey. We didn't argue, but I'm like, I keep seeing a monkey on that ship, and he's like, there's no monkey. You're just getting the reference from the movie. I'm like, no, there's a monkey.
Fair enough, Nathaniel. Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but no, it's definitely getting easier to navigate. I'm not being asked how much I Google anymore, because since then he's learned I honestly don't know how to Google anyways. So
Right. That's funny.
Well, I mean, it also creates a good balance too, in some senses. Like, for
Yeah.
example,
Sure.
if you're going to different locations, um, people that are really interested in understanding how paranormal different dynamics will work, the structure that the two of you represent definitely shows that duality of dynamics. So people can look at both perspectives and see, like, okay, maybe this is how this could work, or you can open up somebody's mind a little bit more to perhaps certain experiences that you've had individually or together in a way that they may have not been able to see before. So,
right.
are the two of you going to be talking together at different events eventually?
I believe that's where it might go.
Mhm.
Right now, Nate's the one that's known. He's out there, so Nate's getting asked, and obviously I go there and I support him. But I believe that's the route it's going to go, because we're both going to Broadhead in June, and we're both going to co-lead an investigation with another one of the guests that they have there,
Very
which
cool.
I
Awesome.
definitely was not expecting that, but it's exciting.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You find that you're kind of tuned in 24/7? Are you able to turn it on and off? Like how does that work for you?
Um, I mean, I try to turn it off. I've learned, and I know I've had conversations with you about Chris, I can't turn it off if I drink.
Oh,
Because I will even sit there like on the phone sometimes, and I'm relaxing, so I'm having a drink, and I will sit there. I will fold my arms. I will sit crisscross applesauce, and I'm like, I'm doing everything I can to block this energy. I'm not trying to get anything, but guess what? You're getting some messages.
right. It's happening whether you want to or not.
Yep.
Right? That's funny.
But other than that, um, I don't think I necessarily shut it off. I definitely could block it off, but it's more so when I try to and they don't listen, it gets to the point that I like mentally am like, hey, back up. And then I don't know. I feel like I always kind of have like an internal flash going on that spirit can see. I'm sure you guys feel the same way. I can amplify it if I want spirits to come in, but even when I don't necessarily want them there, there's still that little glimmer. So people try to creep in here and there.
Every
Oh,
once in a while.
Yep.
Oh yeah. That's why I tell them, like, if I'm at a grocery store or something, and all of a sudden I look at somebody, I'm like, shit, like their dad's coming through or something. I'll tell the dad, be like, hey, look, if you get them to come over and talk to me in any capacity, it doesn't matter. Even if they're like, hey, nice shirt, then I will facilitate that message. And one, it adds the validation for me, and two, like, it tells me that spirit's okay with like doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's how I navigate it personally. And then I'm like, oh shit, that's cool as fuck. Like he went over and he told his buddy or he told his loved one, to come talk to me. And, like that's, so I'll be like, yeah, if you want him, you get him to come over here and I'll do it.
Yeah. No, and as Nate said, messages come. So I'm sorry, Raven.
Oh no, that's okay. I was just going to say, I think the hardest thing for me is when I wake up and they're up above my head coming down. I'm like, no, this is not happening.
Yeah.
You are going to stay outside of my boundary lines for this amount of time, and I will talk to you when I'm ready.
There you go.
Yeah.
Setting some clear boundaries. That's good.
Yep.
Yeah. The thing I mostly do is I will, if somebody's being persistent, depending on how persistent they are, I won't lie, I will cuss them out in my head and be like, look, do you want a message down the line or not? Because right now is not the time. But typically I'm like, all right, I can't do that right now. I don't feel comfortable. But if you keep coming at me, I'll do it. And if I get the same thing for the third time, I'm like, all right, I guess I'm just going to do this. And I try to get especially if it's somebody that I've not interacted with, I try to get the feel for them the best that I can. And I will give messages without necessarily saying that I'm giving messages unless I've put feelers out and I can tell that they're open to getting messages. And then I might say, if you're comfortable, I can give you this. Otherwise, I'll give the basic message of what they're trying to get out without saying like, hey, your uncle that you haven't, seen since you were like 5 years old because he passed away is right behind my shoulder. Do you want to hear a message?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much for being on our show. We really appreciate you coming on. Chris, do you have any final questions?
Yeah, I mean, not so much a question necessarily, but I just want to tell you, like, I'm really proud of you for coming out and just doing all this stuff and just, getting on more shows and doing more things and opening up more as a medium and being more open about it. Like the world needs more of you. So be authentic and just keep going, like never stop. So
thank you. I appreciate that, Chris, because I know I've picked your mind here and there at different events and how nervous I am basically about the whole thing.
I get it, man. I am the same way. Like, I wish I could tell you that doesn't go away because it doesn't, but at least we can all band together and we can all give each other positivity and just know that we're all doing the right thing and doing positive by people. And I think that's what you're doing. So keep up the good fight. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. And thank you both for having me on.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure. It's cool. It's always a good sign of good conversation when an hour goes by in an instant.
Yeah, it did not seem like an hour.
Fuck no.
Literally a blink of an eye. All right, Gwen, do you want to join us?
Hey guys, great show.
What's up?
Great show.
It was fun. And Morgan, we are so happy to see you coming out more because I know that you have some amazing gifts that the world really needs. And I think you'll find that as time goes on, it may not always be easy, but you're going to do an incredible job.
Thank you.
She
I appreciate
already
it.
does. Yeah, she already
Thank you.
does. So. All right, guys, I'm going to pop back and you guys say what you need to. And Morgan, if you want to hang out in the background for just a minute, that'd be cool.
Oh,
okay.
One thing.
Ready? Yep. Yes.
Sorry. Morgan, if people need you, people want to find you, how do they do that?
Yes.
Oh, Yeah, I'm bad with social media, guys, in case you haven't noticed. I mean, I guess my Facebook, Morgan Caldwell. I do have a TikTok, but I've posted 6 videos in however long TikTok's been around. That is Morgs _ 325 for my TikTok. And then my Facebook is just Morgan Caldwell. I have had people sometimes just message me that I've met at events. So, I mean, I check my messages, just not super often. Raven can attest to that because I take forever to get back.
It's
all
so
good.
fair.
But at least they know now how to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right. That was fun. I'm so
That was
happy
good.
she came. Yeah.
Me too. That was awesome.
Yeah. So next week we have James Stokes joining us.
That's gonna be cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So that'll be pretty amazing. And that'll be at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And thank you so much for joining us. We're going to go ahead and close out. Have a great night.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.